Thank you for visiting us on the interwebs. This is Movie and a Beer podcast. My name is Dan Kapersky, and we are doing an experiment in live streaming part of this episode. I do have no idea if it's actually going through because I'm only seeing a little Buffy thingy going around and around. So we are going to. It is. It's recording.
Right Wi-Fi?
So you can see. Yeah. No, it's good. He's right.
Okay.
Mine's right.
Yay.
It's just a little laggy.
How many millions of people have logged in so far? There's a fly in here.
There is. I was going to try and swat it, but that didn't happen.
Oh, no, God, don't swat it. That's our guest star.
Okay, so Movie and a Beer podcast, and we have our two wonderful co-hosts. Besides myself, Dan Kapersky, we have
Blake Hunt.
Randall.
I thought we were doing the experts thing. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah. Okay.
But no. Let's keep going.
Let's keep going.
Blake Hunt, expert. Randall, expert.
I'm an expert on Randall, and Randall's an expert on me.
You could say that.
At this point,
it would work if
totally
it needed to, but it doesn't need to. We're just good right now. We're just talking. It's all good.
It's all good. Welcome to the live stream.
Yeah. So this episode is covering a movie, and in this approach, we had picked the film, if we can call it a film, ahead of time, and then I went and bought some beers at our wonderful local establishment called Cerveza on North Killingsworth here in Portland, Oregon. Gotta love them. Had some great help from the bartender / proprietor that was there at the moment.
Who was there?
I don't remember his name.
Tag them.
I was going to tag them, but I don't remember his name.
He's good people.
It wasn't one of the regular bartenders that I know. It was some other person that I didn't recognize.
Oh, with the beard?
No, it was a tall, skinny white dude with blonde hair, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't recognize him.
Is it still live?
It froze.
Oh, jeez.
I'm gonna go ahead and check, just be on the safe side.
Check.
But what's the while I do that? What's the synopsis of this movie film?
So we watched this film called Save Yourselves. It has two main characters, and it follows those characters over the course of a weekend. They decide to take a week off, and the one character asked for a week off, and she didn't know how to do that, and she ended up getting fired because her boss didn't take that very well. You just can't ask the day before you're leaving to take a week off. It doesn't work that way.
How many people struggle with taking time off from work?
I don't.
I do.
I have to.
Yeah, me too.
I have to. I'm a government employee. You use it or lose it.
I just realized I raised my hand as a podcast bit since no one can see me, and then remembered, oh yeah, I'm on. All right.
You're on TV.
Yes.
Don't
My
worry.
joke failed.
Well, you're on the interwebs.
My joke failed. Anyway.
Yeah, so this poor couple, they're, technology people. One thinks he sucks at everything he does, he admits to the other that, he feels like he's not a man. He doesn't know how to do manly things. His dad tried to show him. His brothers picked it up. He did not. And so there's a little bit of sympathy for that. But my gist of the movie is, if you're a hipster and you've lived in a city your whole life and you suddenly take this crazy idea to go to the country for a week and you've never gone to the country for a week, you might want to do a little research or bring somebody along who has.
I'm surprised they even knew how to drive a car.
Yeah, no doubt, because they live in the city. They live in New York. I mean, who drives a car in New York? Who owns a car in New York?
So yeah, this film was what was this? This film was a couple's film. It was a romantic comedy,
rom-comish. The couple fought a lot.
It was romantic in the sense that it felt like a legitimate human romance, not like in the actual romantic comedies where
it wasn't.
It's like a bunch of pratfalls and farces and
So
this was legit.
They made fun of themselves. The movie made fun of itself a few times because they actually do say in it, "Hey, there's aliens attacking. What do we do?" Mm-hmm. Well, we can't watch any. Don't think of any of those movies we've seen because that's not true. Well, okay,
it's true. It's really meta.
It's very meta.
I like that versus where every zombie movie, apparently zombies culture never existed. But
yeah. In every culture, they existed everywhere. This would have been better as a zombie movie, I think.
It could have been, for all we know. I mean, we only saw the aliens maybe
5 times
on the movie poster.
The sequel, Save Ourselves, will be following a zombie couple. TM.
And not to give it away, because the preview, if you see the preview, doesn't actually show you what the aliens look like. But if you see the movie poster, the bottom half of the Earth looks an awful lot like what the little aliens look like, and they're really small. They're not very big.
The poofs.
They're poofs.
The poofs.
They're the size of a pillow poof.
All right, so the movie's about a couple that escapes New York City for the weekend. They're millennials. They don't know how to do anything. And
they argue a lot.
Well, while they're on their detox weekend, the world gets invaded by poofs.
Bad stuff
over
happens.
the course of like a day, I think.
Yeah. Young John Malkovich is in this. Young Will Ferrell is in this movie.
Yeah, they look a lot like those characters.
They look a lot like other
famous people.
Like cloned versions of people you know.
I actually did think it was him when I saw him at first. I was like, oh, he's way too young. That can't be him.
Boy, this de-aging technology is getting great.
It is. It seriously is.
Good. It's about this young couple that goes up to upstate New York, and bad stuff happens while they're away and off the internet. And by the end of the film, they realize, you know what? We can handle this.
We got this.
We got this. We're not as dumb as we thought we were.
We were not gun people, and now we're gun people.
Yeah. So I think overall, like the message and the social commentary in the film was interesting, but the film itself just
boring.
I felt like the director was behind the camera the entire time doing the stretching out signal.
Stretch it.
Yeah.
Come up with something.
They were funny though. They were good actors, but
I really enjoyed the actors. I liked the design of the poofs because you don't often see like cutesy aliens.
Right? Yeah,
they're often wet and sharp edges and teeth.
Well, that was the whole thing. And like they sat there and shot at the poofs a bunch, and then realized that, oh, wait a second, they're not actually doing any damage to them. They're just sitting there making funny noises at them, and then kill them instantly. And you're like, oh wow, that was not good.
That was gnarly.
Yeah.
So, but the one scientific plot hole that I'm gonna call out.
Yes,
I'm sorry if you have this little thing, and literally they looked like they're about 6 inches long at the most, like really teeny little things. They did eventually kill one, and you got to see what the inside of the poof looked like, and it was this itty bitty little thing, and I'm like, if this little itty bitty thing is gonna go suck 15 gallons of gasoline out of a big old pickup, it's gonna get really big. Where's that 15 gallons of gasoline going to go? Or gasoline, as you would call it.
The aliens liked gasoline.
They like ethanol.
Alcohol.
Anything with alcohol, ethanol, alcohol. So hard liquor, beer, starters for your yeast, or your continuation of your yeast, as the dude was making sourdough and was like, where's my starter?
Yeah. Guys, favorite aliens of all time. Movie Alien. Favorite
Troubles with Tribbles.
Alien. Troubles with Troubles.
Oh, boy.
Star Trek.
Oh, yeah, Star Trek. No, that's not your favorite alien. Come on. Predator.
Predator was pretty good. He's been in a lot of films.
He
keeps coming back. I don't get it.
He's a predator.
The worm guys from Men in Black.
The worm guy.
Oh, the
guys
three tall, skinny worm guys?
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, chain smoking and chugging coffee. God, or Frank the Pug.
Yeah, Frank the Pug was really good too. Until you saw Frank in real life. The pug itself is just his outside.
Right. Do you get to see Frank?
I think in the first one you get to see Frank. You get to see the little alien dude inside of him. The little mechanical pug on the outside is just a show.
You might be thinking of the Russian shells.
I could be mistaken.
With a dude
anyway, we're digressing. Yeah. So what's your favorite one, Randall?
I think Predator. I think I called out Predator, right?
Yeah,
that's a good call.
Amazing.
That is a good call. I mean, I would agree with that, except I really, really like the sandworms in Dune because they're so big and they're impossible to kill because they're so damn big.
You don't kill them, right?
Correct.
You underwrite it. I think
they make the dust, and the dust rules the world.
No, the spice.
I know the spice. I'm getting my movies mixed up.
District 9, remember that movie?
Oh yeah,
so the prawns.
The prawns? Are you a prawn?
So good.
Down South Africa.
Yeah, that was actually, we haven't done that in film. We should probably do that. It's one of our films. It was actually really good. I enjoyed it. The acting was really solid in it, unlike this film, which was slow and a little boring and thin.
It was real. Like I felt like I was watching a live stream of someone's like apartment.
And they had the scene. Some of the scenes back in the city before they left actually looked like they were doing a party, and it was like, dude's walking around with his camera and his phone, and he's just filming people, and it's like, oh, hey.
And I've heard those conversations at parties before, and just walked the other way because there was no mention of Scooby-Doo or Predator.
Yeah, correct.
You know, what about I'm thinking of a war movie with giant insects, aliens.
Oh, Edge of Tomorrow?
Edge of Tomorrow.
Starship Troopers.
Starship Troopers. Oh, yeah. There's like 6 of those. You know that, right? Like
there are, but the first one was
good. And I think like the third one, it's the rule of thirds. Like the third one was also pretty good, but the second one was really
because they brought back one of the guys.
Yes.
I think.
Yep.
The rule of thirds, is that a thing?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Well, just Star Wars kind of set the whole pace on that, and it kind of followed suit. The second one sucks. The third one's always better. But
All right.
we're again digressing. So this film was okay.
Let's take a break real quick.
If we were going to talk about beers, we'll do that in a minute. At this moment, we're going to take a little commercial break.
So, you guys heard about this thing called Poof merch?
Poof merch? What's
Poof merch. You remember from the hit film Save Yourselves, the classic that's sweeping the country. If you want Poof a Poof mug, and then it's just a picture of a Poof with a coffee mug stapled to it. If you want a Poof ottoman, it's just a Poof, and then a third thing, it's also a Poof. Yeah, I don't know.
The Poofs. Thank you for joining us again, our wonderful listeners.
Woo!
Is anybody watching?
Is anybody? I don't know if anybody's watching. I'm looking at my
I'll take a
my
peek.
notes. Blake can take. Well, no, you don't need to get up. There's probably only one person watching, and that's me.
Oh.
I don't know. Yeah, there's only one person watching, and it's me. It'll be out there later, so other people may want to watch
great.
it.
So they can.
They can make fun of ourselves later.
Okay.
Yeah. So welcome back to Movie to Beer. This is the portion of the episode where we are going to discuss the two beers that we enjoyed while we watched this sort of kind of train wreckish, bad sci-fi.
It wasn't that it was just bad. It was just too
boring and
long.
long.
Yeah, I wouldn't say train wreck. Just spice it up a little.
It was bad.
Throw a little Cholula in there.
They could have, and it wouldn't have made a difference.
It wasn't. It was no Superman Returns.
No, it was not. And that was the young one, too.
I mean, that answered if he can take a bullet to the eye.
True, it did.
Oh, yeah.
So
Speaking of eye bullets, segue to beer.
Yeah. So this movie we picked out ahead of time, and then we went, as I had mentioned at the beginning of the episode, to this wonderful restaurant and tap room and beer establishment called Cerveza, which is here in North Portland on Killingsworth Avenue. It has wonderful beer selection. I thought, after discussing it with our co-host here, what beers might go with this, what is supposed to be a funny comedy sci-fi film. Needless to say, the beers that I picked were questionable.
No, they were. One of them was really good.
No,
Right.
at least like comparing to the movie, questionable. But
Yeah.
like,
The pairing was not on. I was off on the pairing. The beers themselves, not so bad. The pairing was not on point. I screwed
Not
that
quite.
one up. I was looking for something fruity. I should have just went with the straight sour. That's not like an IPA or a pale ale that has fruit in it, which is what we picked.
I mean, Dan, now we can tell people what not to have with it if they decide to watch it.
Correct. So we'll briefly talk about these beers and
Yeah.
then what movies might go with these beers, because definitely not with this film. So the first one was Paloma, and it's a pale ale, and it's
Yeah.
from Temescal Brewing, which is out of Oakland, California.
Paloma means palm tree in Spanish.
Yes, it does. And,
Really?
and this
Oh,
this is a 4.9 ABV. The IBUs I couldn't find anywhere. So both this beer and the next one we're going to talk about, neither of them are on their company's websites. So I'm like, what's going on? They have these weird beers that they don't even advertise.
you're gonna go back and ask about it, and they're gonna stare you dead in the eye and say,
I don't know.
We haven't served that beer for 40 years.
Yeah, where'd you get that? Yeah, so
The can's just dust and bats.
you did. So this is like, it was like a cloudy, dirty yellow color when we poured it. It had a kind of like white foamy head.
Yeah.
It had a lot of bright citrus, grapefruit, and lime notes up front. And then you tasted tequila, because this was made in tequila barrels with other things, and it like agave, like as a sweetener, secondary sweetener.
I feel like agave is pretty frequently combined with tequila
Yeah.
aged barrel beers.
But overall, it had a kind of a lower carbonate, full body, but lower carbonation, but just super heavy on the kind of sour tartness. It was more tart than sour, but it definitely lime kicked it up, and it would go good with Mexican food or
Yeah.
Spanish food.
Sure would.
Not so much with the sci-fi film.
Maybe from dusk till dawn.
Maybe.
Well, we'll have to check it out later.
Yeah. So I think we all agree this is a good beer, not for this film. The second beer that we drank was called Monster Hustle, and it was a fruited IPA.
Cool
Not to be
can.
confused with the pale ale. And yes, I bought it because of the label.
Yeah, cool can. Very cool
It
can.
looked really amazing. And it was also a big beer. It was made by the Brewing Projekt, and that's Projekt. So they're being all hip, calling themselves
Project with a K.
Project with a K.
Brewing Projekt.
And they're actually out of Eau Claire, Wisconsin.
Oh,
So
dang.
both of these beers traveled quite a distance to get to us.
Like the poofs.
Yes, the poofs traveled a long ways to get to us, and they were very sour and tart as well, and tried to kill you. These beers did not try to kill us, though. This was a 8.1% ABV, unknown IBUs again. This was a blackberry lemonade with citra hop, ton of citra hop. So you got that bright citrus, and the lemonade body. It tasted like lemonade that had been rank and went really old, and then you had this ton of blueberry on top, and it was. We thought, okay, we opened it, we sipped it, and it was like, oh, this is kind of rough. Kinda.
How do we feel about letting it warm up? Because I know
I let mine warm up. I intentionally tried to warm it up in my hand, and it was still like fruit milkshakey, thicky, solid. But the flavor profile tasted just bad and old fruit. It didn't taste fresh. That was my one thing.
Maybe
it didn't
we
taste
got
fresh.
a bad batch.
it's
Possible, but I don't know.
I know I liked it earlier on, and the more warm it got, I was like, I'm really not feeling this. This beer's not for me, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's not classified as a milkshake because it doesn't have lactose in it or lactic
Right.
acid or anything like that, but it is thick. It does have, I guess you'd say, a medium to full body, zero carbonation. It just drank like juice, like blueberry juice, without being blue.
No, what was that blueberry beer we had?
Oh, blueberry. No, I'm sorry. Blackberry, not blueberry.
Blackberry.
Blueberry was last episode.
Yeah,
this is blackberry. I'm getting my notes mixed up. I'm sorry.
We'll have to space out the berry infusions.
Berry.
Was it really
more.
8.1%?
It was really 8.1 ABV. It was a big beer, and we still have a can or two of it upstairs. I don't think
It's a big beer for big boys.
it is. So interesting. Great chance to try some new beers. Not so good with the sci-fi film again. We kind of struck out on that episode.
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
We'll have to find something else from Eau Claire. That's
They better
better.
make it up to us.
Get him, Randall. Light him up.
Okay, so 2 beers. Not so good with the film. But what kind of films would these beers go with?
I feel like...
Let's look at Netflix.
Yeah, well, I feel like the second one would be like a Tarantino movie. 'Cause it has a lot going on, and his movies have they seem kind of shallow, but then when you watch it again, oh man, this ties into that thing, and oh, that's a reference to that's cool. Maybe a horror movie
Or a children's movie.
I want to watch.
Maybe
I'd mix it up. I would totally mix it up and try something weird like that. A kid's film with
And
a
this
really
is-
crazy beer, because the kids are going to be going crazy, and you need something to just be like, it's okay, I'll drink this.
Okay, I'd watch the Netflix series Cobra Kai.
Oh, there you go.
Pound
That'd be
a
tight.
six-pack of this.
Yeah.
and
Have
we're
you
still
guys
talking
seen it
about the Monster Huddle, correct?
Yes.
The
Yeah,
Monster
yeah.
Huddle? Yeah.
Hustle, I think.
The Monster Hustle. What?
Whatever the second beer was, we're pairing that. Okay.
Yes.
The second beer.
That's
The
what
second
beer
beer,
for me.
Monster Hustle IPA.
Monster Hustle and Cobra Kai.
Yeah, that might work.
I would do Paloma and watch some Narcos.
Yeah, because you want to watch something that maybe goes
Right?
with the feel
That'd be,
and the
that'd
style.
be a decent combo.
Yeah.
Narcos Mexico, not Narcos.
Yeah, the actual real one.
Classic.
The other one.
I would even venture so far to say I think a horror film would go really well with it, because it did. You're like, I need a shot of alcohol with this, and it tastes like tequila in some aspects. So that
Sure,
I think
I
would
could
work
see
well.
that.
I think that would.
How about some Addams Family? It's Halloween season.
Addams
old
Family.
Addams Family, old school.
Maybe I drink the Paloma with it.
Yeah. To recap briefly before we say farewell to our wonderful listeners, interesting film, not even date worthy. I would skip it.
Here's my review. Save yourselves
the
trouble.
And don't watch it.
Don't watch it.
And they even, when they said the name of the movie in the movie, I looked at Randall and said, "Did they just name the movie in the movie? Who does that?"
Got us.
I
It's
love
like,
it when
don't.
movies. I love when movies do that.
Save yourselves.
That's my favorite part.
Don't watch
What
this.
is Vampires versus the Bronx?
Oh, that's actually supposed to be
what?
a really good film. I haven't viewed it yet. But we can certainly take a look at it. It's actually supposed to be pretty funny.
Nice.
All right. I like,
Possible preview for the next episode.
I
possible
like
preview.
both of those things.
All right.
Bronx
And it's
and
PG-13,
vampires.
so it's not going to have that much violence or goriness in it. It's more just storytelling.
But no, save yourselves. Yeah.
Yeah, skip it.
Skip
Two
it.
thumbs up on the beers,
have it
but
on the
not-
back. You can maybe have it on the background.
Yeah.
While doing stuff. That's
Yeah.
the best recommendation I can make. 'Cause I
But
don't want
there's-
to outright say don't watch
I
it.
mean, we picked
right.
it because we hadn't seen anything new, and it was done just before the COVID thing hit.
Yeah,
So we're
yeah.
like, we really want to watch something that was recent, and it was just released. And none of it. I mean, Randall, you've been in New York. You kind of had that. You
from
maybe
New York.
recognized a little of the vibe that was going on. But for me, I was like, I have no
I
connection
couldn't
with this
relate
film.
to it. I couldn't relate to the way they were acting. I mean, I'm not that old, but
Yeah,
I was like, they weren't that believable.
they weren't.
I know people
were
like
kinda
them,
funny.
but
Yeah. Okay.
Anyways,
So try the
are tasty.
beers. Try the beers.
Yes.
Find some sci-fi films or horror films to go with it, or something fun. We tried that. Didn't work for the sci-fi thing. So, as always, remember to hydrate while you watch your films and shows and imbibe in alcohol of some way, shape, or form. Because if you don't,
You're gonna hydrate or dihydrate.
exactly. And as always, the opinions expressed during the taping of this
They're all
podcast
Dan's.
episode
They're
are all
all
mine. I
Dan's.
wrote the script. They're all
Dan's
mine.
making me say all of this, guys.
It is. I'm sorry that the truth is now out there, but I believe.
All right.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh no, he does believe.
Jigs up. This
I
is a
do
sting.
believe-
I pull my mask off
Yeah.
from David Duchovny.
Yeah,
Oh man, aliens.
we love it. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Have a good one, and we'll catch you on our next episode.
Bye.
Bye bye.